afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast. Welcome to another Monday novice fight with me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master of Propaganda, Hero of the Reich, Defender of the Fatherland, here to deliver you tonight another glorious episode, hopefully without any sound issues. We shall be watching DasBruce fighting for the Americans, taking on the fight for the 90th Infantry Division. Opposing them shall be a bunch of random numbers fighting for the Panzer Elite. Fighting for the 17th SS Kampfgruppe Company going up immediately. Also, we're seeing a Schwimmwagen start up from him. More regular start from the American commander, but I mean, usually you'd see a few more Panzer Grenadier squads out for the Panzer Elite before they even began building anything else. Like, say, in particular, Kampfgruppe Company, I mean, you'd usually see a few squads, perhaps two, perhaps three, not just one. I mean, that's really going to initially hamper their ability to combat the enemy and, of course, take points. Never mind, his capping order is mildly put bizarre. He starts from this point, then he moves down here, and then finally towards there. Usually you sort of see, Schwimmwagen focusing there, Panzer securing here, then sort of, focus up here. But so far he's a bit more all over the place. So not really the strongest of capping orders from him. American players sort of going harder towards the right-hand side, but he's actually not sending his riflemen there. So again, he's going to be a bit more all over the place. And his engineers are more likely going to be the ones going to be in first in combat, which is not necessarily the best plan. Gewehr for the physically equipped second squad out now for random numbers. And yes, I shall keep on referring to him as random numbers. Of course, that's what you get if you just add a bunch of numbers to your name. Securing point there, securing point there. Rifle moving up there, going to secure the victory point. And now, of course, he's moving back there again. Rather random camping order, not necessarily the most efficient either. I mean, usually you'd see it all expand from a point towards one side. And again, and also note here, he's the Panzer Elite, yet he's got Panzer Grenadier squads doing nothing. As the Panzer Elite, your primary task ought to be being aggressive, moving forwards, attacking, not standing about with two squads. I mean, you could easily have pushed off these engineers, done some terrible damage, but no. Random numbers is more occupied just standing about looking daft. DasBruce on the other hand moving forwards, rifle following up finally. Random numbers still standing about, thinking it's some sort of kinder party. And something is on the way from the Kampfgruppe Company by the looks of it. He's getting an infantry half-track out. Rifleman pushing up towards the cut-off point, towards the Panzer Grenadiers. Not necessarily the best move by DasBruce. I mean, one rifleman squad versus two squads of Panzer Grenadiers, including one gear for the phrase. Couldn't end up badly. Infantry half-track moves up to flank. One Panzer Grenadier down. Engineers all up, but they're definitely going to get out of there very, very quickly. So initial fight, one right there. Infantry half-track moves on, but not actually putting any Panzer Grenadiers in it. Again, also another mistake by random numbers. I mean, usually if you were to get an infantry half-track, don't use it as an armoured car, use it as an infantry half-track. That is, using it as something you can place one squad in to get more mobile firepower, and also more importantly, in fact, I'll just briefly pause for this. One of the reasons it's good to have a squad in it is the half-track then takes all the damage instead of the squad. And there's, of course, fire or grenades getting more, but otherwise, again, the half-track will take the damage, meaning you won't be spending as much resources reinforcing. You'll still have a Panzer Grenadier squad in the fight. So really, I mean, in so many ways, this is just not good. And this is clearly not the best of the Panzer Elite bunch we're seeing right here. Much too passive. American commander within the first few minutes already has most of the map. Infantry half-track moves up, and again, he's not even having the squad in, not even the one with the Gewehr 43, which could, gotten a nice shot here against the rifleman squad. So right now, he's rushing in the half-track. No Panzer gun is in to really add some initial firepower. He gets one man, and perhaps might have been able to get more again had he had some Panzer gunners inside the half-track. Not really what I would describe as competent Panzer Elite play.
Rifle squad, contact! Covering fire!
I would rather describe it as missing quite a bit of the gist of playing the Panzer Elite. Partly by being so passive initially, and then of course, again, rushing ahead the infantry half-track when they're infantry in it. I mean, it's really just missing the point on it on 2 parts. Also the part where it's a transport vehicle, which could have your panzer grenadiers moving to from point A to point P much faster. I mean, really, random numbers. Is your IQ also just a bunch of random numbers? I'm really starting to doubt in you. And we're already not even 5 minutes into the match. That's never a good sign. Riflemen here, though, taking a beating. Of course, they're getting caught out in front of the infantry half-track, which is generally where you don't want to get caught. Are you at least reinforcing from the infantry half-track? Or are you just going to lose troops? Apparently you are. And there we go, Panzer Grenadier Squad lost within the first few minutes as well. Random numbers not really continuing to impress. 4 squads of riflemen out, and we're seeing Browning automatics next. Riflemen here, though, need to get out of there. They're getting blasted quite soundly by the infantry charge again. They're out in the open. They're in negative cover. You never want to be caught in negative cover, because again, that means you're an easy target. You take more damage. So right there, that was definitely not well handled by DasBruce either. Random numbers needs to retreat that squad. Browning automatics pop, and the riflemen retreat in the face of the rest of the remaining force from the 17th SS. Though again, not really inspiring. Must be from one of the worst companies. Company Klump, whatever you would call it. Schwimmark needs to begin taking some territory. Infantry after needs repairs, and we're already seeing a move towards the Panzerjäger command, which could be something, I suppose. Trias are going up for DasBruce. Good move. Most of his troops are heavily wounded, so of course to avoid further wastage of manpower, he's getting a Trias center, so thus heal them up. So that's definitely a good move, a good reaction to what Random Numbers is up to. Do believe they're both around level 9, or at least the American players. I can't, of course, vouch for the Panzer League player. Again, we're talking novice levels. Repairing the infantry half-track, that's at least a good move, but also get some troops in it, Dummkopf. And we're seeing DasBruce moving out in quite a large formation. That's definitely going to be a bit of a threat to Random Numbers' efforts. We might already be seeing an armoured car on the way, or perhaps some assault rifles. That would definitely be a help against all these BARs, the Browning automatics, the World War I light machine gun out from the Americans. Pushing up, and again, note, he's not putting anyone in the half-track. His troops can't follow up. Instead, he's taking the half-track on its own little ride, which again is not really what it's meant to do. It's a support vehicle. Managed to push away the engineers, but at the same time all of his Panzer Grenadiers were pushed off the field. He pretty much could have done more of this engagement, but failed to do so. So not really inspiring play, and certainly not how I'd recommend you to play the Panzer Elite at all. In fact, quite the opposite.
Eyes on me, infantry.
And what is DasBruce up to now? Spreading out, taking points. That's good. Infantry half-track moving back. Panzer Grenadiers getting more gewehr for defeats instead of perhaps considering some assault rifles, since they do have a Panzerjäger command up now. Come on. Random Numbers, be aggressive, be Panzer Elite. At least be less of a fool. Bit quiet here. Mine's going down for DasBruce. That's a nice move. Definitely going to make it hard for the Panzer Elite to advance. And there we go, moving up the right-hand side, engaging the rifle right there. Infantry half-track once more leading the way, and again, no troops in it. It's really close in and get the weapons up close, but again, without exposing the troops too much to damage. I mean, really, Random Numbers. Really. What the bloody hell do you think you're playing with? I mean, it rather takes a special kind of person to rather miss the point of an infantry half-track, to miss the point of a transport vehicle that allows your troops to fire out of it while it's moving. And for that matter, while it's also standing still and have the vehicle absorb most of the damage. And again, I mean, note, it's just completely incongruous. The squads are far behind, while the infantry, of course, is moving forward and could be doing more damage if there's someone in it. do get some infantry for the half-track. I suppose that's a minor blessing. But also now he's must be having a ton of resources, but nothing's happening with them. And apparently he got another Schwimmwagen for some reason. Despite, you know, lacking the ability to really pull off a punch. And finally, 10 minutes into the bloody match, and Random Numbers finally gets it. I mean, that's not good. That's pretty much all an issue, just to get transferred to a Luftwaffe field division on the Eastern Front. Mining, really though, going down for DasBruce. That's absolutely nice to see from a novice. And also generally, not bad spots. Right in here though, need to pull back. They need to pull back. Cover point has been secured. Half-track moving forwards. Now it's time to actually pop up one squad, since only one squad can really fire out of it at a time. Come on. Follow up, Random Numbers. Instead, it does not happen. In fact, if you're getting close to a flamethrower with squads inside, the troops will take much more damage. Half-track needs to move back. Move back. Yo. Random Numbers. We do see an armoured car out, but we see the troops evacuating the half-track. It's on fire. It's not looking good. The Americans are moving forwards. A wall advancing. Armoured car though pulled in. Troops getting slowed down by the Gewehr 43 troops. One Panzer squad separated from the rest, getting murdered right here. Another slowed down. Another suppressive volley. And the Panzer squad retreats right into the mine. Absolutely devious mining right there by DasBruce. Armoured car advances straight into another mine. Brilliant stuff. Panzer is pushing up, following up in the wake of the armoured car to try and salvage it from the riflemen and the Browning automatics. They should consider shifting cover. Again, note cover is directional right here, as you might have noticed. They're on the wrong side of it. Again, cover is directional, meaning you have to be on the side where, you know, there's cover in between you and the enemy. It's sort of, again, you think of what would you like to do in real life. Would you like to be on the side that, you know, protects you against the bullets, or the side that does not? You know, the bit that can absorb bullets. Motor pull up, armoured car on the way for DasBruce, and rather looks like Random Numbers does it again. The only thing he has to stop it is currently is a tank buster squad, and that's not necessarily the most effective way to stop any armoured cars. Usually that is why you have the Panzer Support Command up much faster, thus getting yourself some anti-tank half-tracks, which are the definite method of stopping any armoured cars. But again, rather seems like getting expert repairs all of a sudden. I mean, it's not a bad upgrade, but perhaps the timing's perhaps not right. A lot of the mines getting spotted by the Schwimmwagens. That's nice. Armoured cars quickly dealing with that. Nicely done and nicely done. Rifle engineers pushing up. Flamethrowers in hand, splitting up the troops to attack from several points. That is good. Not a lot force to actually hold them back. Again, heavy losses for Random Numbers. And actually 5 infantry squads for DasBruce. You could actually have an armoured car up fast, I think, but, you know, via Condiers for that. There are no upgrades for the armoured car. Schwimmwagen in trouble. Needs to get away, getting hunted down, taking heavy damage. Already one is in fact down. But there we go, Panzer Support Command up. But Random Numbers needs to get his bloody act together, and he needs to conduct some kills. He needs to shoot up some armies, some Yankee gangsters. Needs to be ended. But the jackbooted heel of the Reich. Instead of what's currently happening, which is rather showcasing a lot of ways of how not to play the Panzer Elite. Armor car advances, Panzer is following up. More mines going down from... And DasBruce having a nasty habit of leaving troops out in the open for a bit longer. That is good. Troops just standing about instead of pushing forward and getting into cover. I mean, really, Random Numbers, you just keep on repeating the same mistakes. Anti-tank half-track though on the way. Armor car getting blasted viciously. And again, a quick retreat partly because he couldn't even pull off an assault right, because he left the armor car in first, and he didn't have it supported by the infantry. And thus an absolute failure to advance by him. Greyhound moves in, not upgraded though. No armored skirt, instead he got the 50 caliber first. I mean, that's not good either. You always get the armored skirts first for the Greyhound, otherwise it's going to go down too quickly. Anti-tank half-track out. Assault grenadiers. Riflemen sneaking about.
Achtung! The enemy is impacting Kampfgruppelehr's victory points.
Come on, random numbers, advance, do some attacking.
Supply lines are broken. We have
There we go, one rifleman actually bites the dust. Pushing forwards, defensive veterans up for the armored car rifle getting absolutely blasted, and for some reason, DasBruce did not retreat. He must have been aware what's going on. And he's still not upgraded the armored car either. He's not even repaired it. And again, there just seems to be a lot of, moving back and forth. No real attacks from random numbers. Come on. Do the Fatherland proud for once, instead of just being an embarrassment. Armour car now immobilized again, partly due to that armoured skirts also go down quickly. Assault rifles moving forward, straight into a mine. I mean, really good mining. And there we go, the assault rifle squad is gone. I mean, really, how he does not check for mines and does not retreat in time. I mean, really, a lot of unnecessary losses for random numbers. Mildly put. Riflemen getting murdered. They need to get out of there. More mines. More veterancy. And there we go. Mine went off. Panzer grenadier. Testing, testing, testing. Driving a wedge right through DasBruce's lines. We do see random numbers pushing up, and it rather seems like again DasBruce having a bit of trouble staying in cover. We're seeing his riflemen dying left and right, and looks like the Panzer Elite for once could actually secure some ground that could hold the center. As the 17th SS finally does some good and cuts down some Yankees. In fact, looks like a Browning automatic was dropped for the Wehrmacht to use. Of course, the anti-tank half-track was actually not a sort of specialized tank hunter vehicle. In fact, they had half-tracks for guns for that. No, this, with the lighter gun, was actually a squad leader vehicle. The gun more designated for basically digging up more dug-in infantry with its, well, high-explosive shells. But they did have half-tracks with Pak 40s on them. In fact, they even had some heavy armored cars like the Puma sort of variant, but with Pak 40s mounted on them. Assault grenadiers now out. Could be another score. And again, he seems to pull back again. If it had the infantry half-track, he might have had these problems. And again, he's not playing very aggressively. He's not even playing decently defensively. He's playing very timidly, just conducting a full retreat, not holding on to what ground he can. In fact, allowing for DasBruce to push forward. But so far, DasBruce seems a bit disinterested in moving forwards in the name of the United States and killing some crouch, despite, in fact, the front line is currently incredibly weak. In fact, let's just speed it up since nothing's really going to be happening. Tank depot up for DasBruce in the 19th Infantry Division. Which was generally considered one of the less good divisions of the Americans. In fact, the recruits they got was amongst some of the worst, and on average they were lower by several millimeters than the rest of the United States Army. Riflemen engineers here getting run off by the armored car, doing quite a bit of damage against, and he seems to be just pulling up again for a Panzer Elite player. He's playing very opposite of how they're supposed to be played. I mean, really, he seems to be at least be doing more better if he was to play the Wehrmacht, for example. Even I'm confident he probably wouldn't do too well. And charging in the tank busters first, not good. And where are the assault rifles? They are far away. Pushing up here, engaging the riflemen. Bit of engagement going on here. Riflemen taking losses. Our assault rifles moving up. Riflemen squad on the retreat, and where's the armor cars? And strafing run pretty much stops all the Panzer against one squad. Gets slowed down, but really the Panzer Grenadiers are in it deep. More riflemen are arriving to flush them out, and there we go. Pushed away again. Random numbers aspiring for failure, apparently. Once more pushed back. These vehicles weren't even there in the fight. Mine spotted and blown up.
The Yankees
Speeding
are
things up a
wrapping
bit.
territory.
Mines going off, getting wrecked. Sherman out for him. That's good. And it'll stop for the mid-game analysis. Currently, it's looking pretty rubbish for random numbers. I mean, he's lost a lot of men, he's lost some good vehicles, he's not really been able to deliver any sort of real blows to DasBruce, and he keeps on playing so ridiculously defensively and timidly, running away at nothing sometimes, not consolidating ground, not pushing forwards, not fighting, forcing DasBruce for the large part to fight for even the slightest amount of ground taken. I mean, it's really not good. It's a waste of manpower, it's a waste of troops, it's a waste of time, it's a waste of vehicles. I mean, really, random numbers is just doing so many things wrong. On the other hand, DasBruce has done quite nicely with the mines. I mean, that's really great to see. Lots of aggressive mining. He has a Sherman out. He might want to support that with more armor. He needs some pilot upgrades to them, perhaps also a medic station. Otherwise, doing all right. Oh, well, right. The anti-tanker needs to actually be able to support his infantry. But otherwise, nicely played by him. And the random numbers needs to get his bloody act together. He needs to get his hands out of his pockets and his head out of, well, you know what. Returning to DasBruce, though. Panzer Grenadiers pushing up, more following up. 17th SS company here is definitely in its moment of shame, apparently under this man's command. Pushing forward, and now, of course, he's further climbing them up, despite knowing his opponent has gone airborne. He has access to strafing run. He insists on making them an easy target through the strafing runs. Not really stellar play there by random numbers. Sherman unsupported. Generally, you want your armor to be near infantry. In this case, of course, it's rather going to have its engine knocked out. Panzer Grenadiers, in fact, tank busters moving up with the Panzerschreck. And there we go. Panzerschreck connecting with the Sherman, doing quite a bit of damage. The Sherman continues unabated, but still unsupported. There's no sign of DasBruce sending in infantry to support it. What is he doing, DasBruce? What are you doing, you silly person? Engineers getting run off, getting shot at quite a bit. Still not the slightest hint of assistance towards his Sherman. That's just dreadful. And in the meanwhile, random numbers is at least repairing his anti-tank half-track. Another Sherman on the way. That's good, but he needs to repair the first one. Come on. Schnell. Move it, double time it, soldier. Assault Grenadiers and some regular Grenadier Panzer Grenadiers moving up. Engineers caught in the middle of everything. They are pinned down, they're getting shot down, and another strafing run. No, it's a bombing run. That's a bit of an overkill, but he gets the Panzer Grenadiers. He gets them and even gets them to drop the BAR as it's blown away from their hands. Finally sending in something to repair the Sherman. But I think calling a bombing run on Panzer Grenadiers belongs within the category of overkill, and could easily have ended up in him having wasted resources. In this case, though, he did get the Panzer Grenadier score, but even then, I mean, it's just pretty much 250 munitions for 255 manpower. That's not really cost-effective, I'd say. Grimmagen here, they're in trouble. Response from random numbers overall is a bit underwhelming. Engineers in trouble, they need to get away. Strafing run moving in, and there we go. Pinning and suppressing some of the Panzer engineers went down. And there we go, the tank busters are forced away. There's still, though, the Panzer Grenadiers with the Gewehr 43 and double offensive. Actually, Sherman gets one, though, blows Heinz to bits, although technically they were Volksdeutsche from Hungary, so I don't know if they would have been named Heinz, any of them. But that was a Riven squad that actually went down for DasBruce. Gott im Himmel, DasBruce. Armor carrier continues to try and contain the American harassment, but DasBruce is really everywhere. I mean, he's really playing well for an American. I mean, yes, I know this is novice level, but it's really, he's got some of the core components of the American try, that is, attack, and try to attack from as many angles, and of course also good use of mining. I mean, really, for all of his mistakes, I mean, DasBruce really, seems to be, there's some overall things gleaming through, some overall chances of, this is a good player. He could become a great player. Whereas the thought was more for random numbers. He could become great cannon fodder on the Eastern Front. So far. Snarl the show moving up there. This damaged engine on the armoured car. That's looking less good. And there we go, down. Engineers again trying to repair under fire. They should at least consider moving away out of the line of fire from the assault rifle grenadiers. But no, he's not doing anything. DasBruce, careful.
Circling the field. They're asking for drop
Airborne dropping right into the midst of everything. Rather than firing away, focused fire imagine from the anti-tank half-deck rifle going away. Airborne now caught in the middle of everything, fighting heroically to save the Sherman, but they're too late, and now the assault rifles are bearing into them, threatening to gut them and end their lives. And there we go. The 17th SS scores a minor victory for the Fatherland.
Losing a point out there.
For the Guts von Belichingen. And another strafing run. I think DasBruce is getting a bit overzealous with his strafing runs, doing it even when there's no point in doing it. But again, absolutely insane mining. And again, he can afford it because again, he's been able to hold most of the map and most of the munitions, including the high munitions. So I mean, for DasBruce, he's basically doing everything right. He's really making it difficult for the Panzer Elite to advance up, but random numbers with the way he's playing is not helping himself. Because he can't really hold down to any ground because he's just constantly running back. It is absolutely disheartening to see. But again, you know, great play from DasBruce considering all things. He's actually doing some damage. He's making great use of mines. Whereas random numbers keep falling into the same mistakes of clumping up his troops despite knowing his opponent has strafing runs. And there we go, the anti-tank half-tank somehow still alive, getting repaired. Expert repairs rather helping in that department. Speeding things up a bit again. No point in waiting around when there's nothing happening, I fear. Mine spotted. Schwimmwagen needs to be careful. Mine engagement over here. Rifle moving in against the Panzer Grenadiers. We're a bit outgunned there, I think. Pushing up. All on his own. And again, the anti-tank. And it's nowhere near the front. DasBruce needs to work as an anti-tank on usage. Sherman here, they're a bit in trouble. Getting hit repeatedly by the anti-tank half-deck. Engine disabled, Tret's gone. Panzer Shreks continue to pull through. Assault rifles flanking the riflemen. Panzer from the front, there for the freeze, also blasting away. And he lost the Sherman. Flamethrower engines moving up, riflemen moving up. Supply and upgrade up. Riflemen need to retreat. Airborne moving in as well. No grenades are good, perhaps will help, but the Panzer is actually doing quite a bit of nasty damage with those assault rifles, those Sturmgewehrs. At the same time, a Panther battle group arrives. The 2nd SS has sent in some of their Panthers to support.
100 points and counting down.
Airborne needs to consider retiring from the field for the moment. The amount of firepower the Wehrmacht can muster is a bit too much. And 2 Panthers roll in. And again, mine goes off, damaging the engine, actually quickly limiting a bit of their overall combat effectiveness. And of course, again, because he didn't have the front, of course, it's also quite exposed now without an infantry screen. Because he forgot about it. And it could be that actually goes down, and there we go. Looks like the tank busters were able to get in. In fact, they're quite veteran troops.
AT Paradrop is now available.
And now, DasBruce is actually a bit of trouble. He can't actually quite do any damage. He's actually suffered quite a bit because, well, partly again, slightly poor unit disposition. And again, the Shermans, you know, lots of resource put in it, not a support for them. Again, that one over here was a complete and utter dreadful waste. So in that department, DasBruce has certainly made some mistakes. I mean, there's some signs of something better shining through here and there, but there's also a bunch of mistakes being committed repeatedly. Recall his rifles up, anti-tank guns out. And then we going in the anti-tank and first exposing it to the Panthers. Where's the infantry? Where is the infantry? You know, support fire. And there we go. I mean, you have infantry first, then you have support units following up on the infantry. Not the other way around. Instead, he just wasted an anti-tank gun for no good reason. I mean, again, DasBruce, you need to sort of learn how support units work, how armor works. And you also need to learn infantry first always. Infantry first unless you've got some really heavy armor. And the Americans don't have that. Oh dear, exposing the rear to the recoilless rifles. Fritz von Ferdinand or whatever, exposing the rear of his Panther, making a bit of mistake there. Airborne though moving up, getting blasted by the Panthers, no support. And now we do see a Luftwaffe doctrine out for DasBruce. Wirbelwind Flakpanzer arriving. Turning over the fight to random numbers. And the 17th SS now supported by elements of the 2nd SS. Making a slight combat actually doing some damage again, partly due to DasBruce's mistakes. Wirbelwind moving in. Mind you, it's only really effective against one infantry squad at a time, but it's certainly doing alright. Airborne are dying. A recoilless rifle was actually dropped. Oh, airborne squad went down. DasBruce is suffering brutally now against this armored corps sent out by random numbers. The Wirbelwind, I believe, was around this time actually available, at least later, sort of August, whereas again the Ostrom was much later. Based on the same Panzer IV chassis though. Panzer Grenadiers moving up. Panther and Dire needed repairs. And medic station up. That's actually quite nice. Another airborne squad. I'm not entirely sure about that one. Wirbelwind got some poor bastard on retreat. Victory points are draining out quickly for random numbers and the 17th. And of course the fun thing about the Panthers, I mean, it was rather mechanically unreliable. It rather needed a lot of maintenance, and even then it was not, you know, fully reliable. Whereas the Tiger tank was actually considerably more reliable. It's not thing is, it was reliably, you know, sensibly maintained. An aircraft went down somewhere. I'm not sure where though. I'm not sure where. I know I was able to find it. But something definitely went down, like a paper aircraft on fire. Either way though, and even some of the earlier versions of the Panther actually had some nasty mistakes, partly due to the engines they were using, which meant that if it was tilted at a certain angle, the engine would catch on fire. So a little fun fact there. And also, by the later stages of the war, the Panther was actually the more numerous tank compared to the Panzer IV. In fact, some divisions might have had more Panthers than they had Panzer IVs. So fun fact there. Exposing the rear though, not good. The Panther's strongest point was its front, its sides and rear were considerably weaker. Airborne advancing, getting blasted. The other one needs to be careful. And the airborne are just taking huge losses from the Panthers, from the Panzers, from the anti-tank half-tank, also just doing a lot of damage. Lots of offensive action for that, to sort of just make it more lethal. Another man dead. Rifleman getting absolutely murdered right there, and a strafing run. Pinning down one squad, medic moving in. Wirbelwind getting repaired, and then the gun gets operational again on the right-hand side. We do see a Wirbelwind providing cover as well. Mine spotted but not dealt with. Again, DasBruce being absolutely everywhere with mines. And a bit of quiet again. Panzer Grenadiers reinforcing. Engineers for some reason moving up against all of this, sending them in piecemeal. Again, very bad. And also note, actually, random numbers is putting on offensive veterancy for his Panthers. Some would note that actually he's sort of... he can't seem to decide, actually. But, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad idea. It rather depends on sort of what fight you're doing. I mean, with lots of infantry, I mean, offensive veterancy will help, since it will make it more likely to hit and also fire faster. So, of course, in those departments, it can be off. Although I will say a lot of players just prefer getting lots of defensive veterancy, making it considerably tougher, which is definitely also an approach. And not necessarily a bad one either. But DasBruce has been worn down again. His approach having quite a few flaws here and there. Losing him quite a bit. Luftwaffe ground forces out. Probably from some flak unit no longer in service after its guns got blown up. Hits a mine, almost dead. Oh dear, random numbers. They never did bother with that mine. And now your Luftwaffe troops are going to easy targets. In fact, they need to retreat and get healed up before you send them out. And they're going to get ambushed by the riflemen. Come on, DasBruce, pop into the building, open up. Shoot those cracks, and there we go. Ambush initiated. And there we go. Luftwaffe troops are dying as flies. Already 3 men are gone. 4 men. Only 1 man alive. I mean, absolute waste of manpower right there. Just dreadful handling of it. Anti-tank Haftig now moving up to blast out the Americans. Firing away. Small high explosive rounds impact with the building. Crumbling structure. And whatnot. Panthers moving forward. Wirbelwind moving up. Wirbelwind up here could also move forward to support. Rather than getting blasted, they're a bit exposed here. Only a few craters for cover as the Panzer are going to just leap forwards over the road into the craters. And they continue. Lots of defensive veterancy, making them tough as well. Which is also what some players like to do, so they can fire off more rounds, you know, survive more and all that. And the tank buses have been forgotten all about. Really random numbers. Why couldn't you send the Wirbelwind up to support? Now it's too late, of course. Anti-tank gun here, blasting away. Another one, in fact, out for DasBruce. Wirbelwind rolling out. Rifleman quickly getting dropped, getting suppressed. 1 man dead. Court-mounted anti-aircraft gun being quite nice against ground targets as well. Sticky bomb goes off, but I fear it won't be enough for the moment. And harassment attempt quickly getting stopped by quite the force. Random numbers will stand none of it. Luftwaffe troops reinforcing. 40 megas prepared. And he doesn't have enough map control to actually get enough more units. Question is, of course, how will DasBruce continue? He needs to push on. Going for the victory point right there. Still not picked up the recoilless rifle. Medic's getting murdered. And Metro D2 for the Panther, giving it a machine gunner. And a bombing run, And the Wirbelwinds did not react, and we see, oh my bloody hell! Götterdämmung! The Panther, the Wirbelwind got blown up, that was... And the other Panther went up in flames as well! Talk about a lightning reversal, 1 bombing run because of all those tanks clumped up. Oh my goodness! Gott im Himmel! That pretty much just gutted random numbers. There again, also another, you know, don't clump up. You know, provide some anti-aircraft cover. And you do need more with Wirbelwinds. But that was, yes, quite quick. Another Wirbelwind called in. Although we do see some force mates getting equipped with the FG-42. The FG-42 being quite an interesting automatic weapon. A mix of a light machine gun, in fact, something called a battle rifle. I mean, it was actually supposed to fulfill several roles, and in fact was something a bit like an earlier assault rifle. Although it was not handed out like an assault rifle like you see here. But still, it meant that basically a 40 mega squad would actually have quite a bit of firepower in their hands. And there we go. I mean, 40 megas with FG-42s are probably amongst the best anti-infantry units in the game. Luftwaffe troops caught in the middle of everything, getting sacrificed just like in the real war. And there we go. They are gone. Wirbelwinds are moving in. 40 megas holding out heroically. Perhaps nothing quite like Monte Cassino, but certainly not their fault. Troops getting murdered left and right. Sticky bomb on the Wirbelwind again. Anti-tank guns firing great. We're in fact seeing 2 anti-tank guns. That's great. Rifleman squad went down to the Fallschirmjäger. DasBruce again losing units a bit insensibly. Wirbelwind moving straight into it. And he actually leaves. Random numbers realize it's time to give up and surrenders personally to the Americans so he can avoid getting shot by the Germans. Game over. A bit of a brutal fight here. A bit of certainly a Monday novice fight. That's for sure. But again, I mean, rather lots of mistakes here, some interesting, others just dumb. I mean, really, the Panzer Fleet made the brunt of the mistakes again. The initial starting things really bad, poor sort of start, poor usage of the infantry half-track, poor unit preservation, poor reaction to when he actually saw strafing runs and all that. Definitely poor. And, you know, just poor aggression. I mean, he really didn't seem how to know how to play Panzer Fleet and just got beaten up time and time again. It was only the Panthers and the Wehrpflüge which bought him some breathing space, which got ended by a bombing run, which he didn't react to properly enough. DasBruce, I mean, played well, but, you know, good mining, really good mining, definitely deserves that. But he needed to get better at using cover. Unit preservation was lacking a bit here and there. His armor usage was poor. Definitely not supporting that, which definitely didn't work out. And, you know, just those things, and also the anti-tank gun. But overall, definitely playing much better than his opponent. He's definitely got something, you know, some future within Company Heroes, and probably also Company Heroes too. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends? And if you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own? Provide some feedback in the comments. Would you have done the same? Would you have done differently? You know, what do you think of this entire mess? And of course, you know, feel free to follow me on Facebook or Twitter. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.